2024 New Student Orientation for the Global Health Program. We're really happy you're here. My name is Jane Eichhorst, and my pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am the undergrad advisor for the Global Health Program. So I'm excited to work with you all.
Hi, my name is Brittany Wright. I am the graduate advisor for the Global Health MA program, and I'm also the program coordinator. So I work with Jane on a lot of programmatic activities for undergrad and graduate students. So welcome. I'm a UCSD alumni as well, and really happy to have you all here joining us. We have our Global Health Program student ambassadors who have potentially joined us today on the Zoom meeting. Are either of our student reps here? And they may be hopping on a little
Maybe
later.
not yet.
Okay, so Suhana and Naya. So we usually have 4 to 5 students as our student reps, and they'll host events throughout the academic year, things like bagels and office hours and some social events for students. And they're great resources to reach out to for questions, maybe if you want a student perspective on some matters pertaining to your global health degree. Today's orientation, we're going to go over a few things about the logistics of the program. What is global health? Some of the major requirements, field experience requirements, how to use academic advising, and some enrollment tips. And then we're going to leave plenty of time for a Q&A. So any questions you may have, just save them to the end, and we'll be happy to address those with you. And I'm sure if you have the question, that many other students have the same questions as well. We just ask that if there's any like personalized questions, you save those for an advising appointment. So if you're asking about something specific on your transcript or whatnot. Okay, so we'll start. What is global health?
So global health is an area of study, research, and practice that places a priority on improving health and achieving equity and health for all people worldwide. So it provides you with an understanding of how to productively intervene in processes of health, illness, wellness, and healing around the world.
So some of these photos you see on the right are some of our global health students that we asked walking around campus what global health issues are important to you. So as you can see, there's a wide range of topics that students are interested in the global health major. And there's a wide range of topics that you're going to be learning about in your global health classes. So you're going to be learning about health from a very interdisciplinary lens. And, you know, one thing that we like to mention in the global health program is that the United States is also part of the globe, and we live in a very culturally diverse environment, which makes San Diego a great spot to be studying global health. A lot of our students will go down to the border or work closely to the border in some of our programs and get a real life perspective on global health issues that are happening just, you know, a handful of miles away from where we're living. Some of your classes, you'll definitely be learning about health inequities that exist within different populations, and topics such as reproductive health, mental health, how natural disasters have an impact on health, and classes ranging from indigenous healing practices to climate change in the environment. So there's really a lot of different topics that you're going to be exposed to in this major. So a question we get a lot from our students is, what can I do with a degree in global health? And so we've listed out some common outcomes for careers in global health. And mind you, a lot of these are going to require a master's degree, PhD, MD. For instance, a physician or an epidemiologist may require a master's in public health degree or an MA degree. So a lot of the ones on the left side there are if you're pursuing further education in the field. We have a lot of students who go into work with community organizations and government agencies. So a lot of the times when you're graduating with a bachelor's degree, you're going to have to work. Your main goal is going to be getting your foot in the door and getting that work experience. So you won't graduate and start as a political or an analyst at the CDC without work experience, right? So During your time at UCSD, we really encourage you to take advantage of the network and the resources and the field experience that we're going to talk about to develop your resume, so that when you graduate as a student from UCSD, you don't just have your degree listed. You want to have additional things on there to help you when you enter the job market. And a lot of times students in this degree come in not knowing what they're really interested in doing. They just know that they have a passion to help others and appreciate looking at health from a very interdisciplinary perspective and holistic approach. And so sometimes it's not until you're, in your field experience or research, or maybe towards the end of your global health curriculum, where you're really going to have an understanding of what is a good fit for you. So these are just to get your mind marinating on some possible options, but there'll be time to be exposed to different career options and pathways. And as I said, we have a lot of students who go off to be MDs or PAs or go into nursing programs. And then we have a lot of students who also want to work in global health policy and make an impact that way. So there's a lot of different ways that you can make an impact in global health, not just as a doctor or in a healthcare facility. And so we do have a global health careers page on our website. And if you go onto our website, we encourage you to spend a lot of time researching our website and all the resources that are on here. So under the undergraduate degree tab here, there's a careers page. And this is a great way for you to start thinking about different professions and looking maybe at some fellowships and resources, and even thinking about, we have students who go into the Peace Corps, or there's the Global Health Corps after their undergraduate education to continue getting the experience that way. Okay, so now Jane's gonna talk to you about some of the major requirements.
Yeah, so there are two majors in the global health program. There's the BA, and that focuses more on the social sciences and humanities. And then our BS program focuses a little bit more on the natural sciences. So with that major, it includes a lot of the courses that are required for pre-health or pre-med requirements needed to go on to like medical, pharmacy, nursing schools. Depending what major you're currently in, you do have the option to switch majors. So just because you're coming in as one, know that you do have an option later on to switch if you find that you're not in the one that's best suited for you.
Exactly. And so a lot of students, when they enter the program, they're all put into one, either the BA or the BS, even if you applied to the other one. Once your enrollment time begins, you can go to the major tool, major change tool in Triton link, and you'll be able to change to whichever major you prefer, the BA or the BS degree.
Mm-hmm. And for both major requirements, you do need to take all your courses for letter grade of C- or better. And then both majors have a 100-hour field experience. And we'll be talking more about that in a little bit. We recommend doing that during your junior year, after you've already taken some global health courses. So for the global health BA major requirements, actually, before I even get into that, some of you had asked in the registration about understanding the difference between the lower division and upper division. So for lower division courses, those are 0 to 99, and then upper division are 100 to 199. So students must have at least 90 units in order to enroll in those upper division courses. So on the left-hand side, you can see for the BA major requirements for lower division, you'd start out in one of our intro courses. So for example, Global Health 20, which is Introduction to Global Health. That course is offered every quarter. We highly recommend that course for even your first quarter for fall or winter quarter. And then students would choose from one of the following you see on the left-hand side in the middle, a sociology or philosophy course, and then a lower division stats. So that would complete lower division core requirements for the global health BA major. And then on the right-hand side, you can see the upper division core requirements. So 4 courses listed, 148, 181, a management course, and then a policy analysis course. So for both the BA and the BS, this core requirements are the same. And then for the BA, the electives, you'll have 10 courses. And so this is really where you get to tailor the major to what you're interested in, what you're passionate about, and just explore kind of different disciplines. And yeah, we'll be talking more about how to look up those electives because you have lots and lots of options, but we'll kind of give you some tips of how to look into those. And then for the BS major requirements, you see on the left again, you take 2 intro courses, and then you'll also take 1 year of bio, 1 year of chemistry, 1 year of math, and then a lower division stats course. And then for the upper division, again, the same core as for the BA, and then you'll have 8 upper division elective courses. And for both, then the field experience.
Okay, so we're going to talk about, we have some transfers or students who have taken AP courses in their high school or whatnot. And so those classes can apply towards your global health degrees. And typically on your academic transcript, they will show that they've already been articulated to the equivalent of the UCSD course. So for example, if you take AP biology and you get a score of 4 or 5, that's equivalent to build 1, 2, and 3, which is the full year of bio. So that would complete the BS requirement for the bio requirement for that major. We don't require that for the BA. As Jane said, a lot of the lower division requirements in the BS are the same as the pre-med or pre-health requirements. And so it is not automatically populated on your degree audit, which we'll show you how to read that in a moment, you can send us a petition. And we have the details for that on our website under the undergraduate program. And then we have the petitions and forms, and it's just an online form here that you would submit. So one thing to know is if you did get a score of a 3 for AP biology, that wouldn't fulfill the bio requirement. So we have this information on our major page for you to look over. And if you have any questions, you can send a message in the virtual advising center. So when you look at your UCSD transcript, your transfer coursework is in the process of getting articulated. And what that means is that it's going to show the course that you took at community college. So for example, Biology 220, Human Physiology at Mary Costa, that is equivalent to our Build 26 Human Physiology course at UCSD. So you don't need to do anything for that. If it has that UCSD approximation, that's going to automatically populate in the right area for your GE or your global health requirements. The only time you would petition a course, maybe one that doesn't have the UCSD approximation, but you see that it has a very similar title to one of the courses required for your global health degree. So when you transfer coursework to UCSD, it all is lower division coursework. So even if it was upper division at community college, that would be, it's still going to come over as lower division. So you can't use it as a lower division or upper division elective for global health. So it's only the ones that would really be relevant for transfer coursework are going to be those bio courses, chemistry, some math and statistics. And if you happen to have taken like an introduction to global health or public health course. So we have a lot of students in our program who are pre-med or pre-health. Pre-med means that you are completing prerequisites to gain admission to medical school. And pre-health means you're pursuing another healthcare field. So maybe optometry school or a physician assistant school nursing program. And so there is no pre-med major at UCSD, as I mentioned. If you are pre-med, the BS degree may make the most sense for you, since that already has a lot of the prerequisite courses built in. So one of the courses that's not built in that you, for instance, would need for pre-med would be the physics course. So that's an additional course that you'll have to build into your schedule. So there's several resources for pre-med and pre-health advising at UCSD. You're not going to meet with your major advisor specifically for pre-med advising. You'll meet with HealthBeat in the Career Center. So if you are on the undergraduate tab on the website under major requirements, And if you scroll down to the bottom, there's a pre-med and pre-health planning section here. And this is going to give you some insight into some of the, there's a lot of resources on campus through HealthBeat, which is our pre-health group at UCSD, through career services. And it'll give you some information on basically requirements for pre-med, but every school that you apply to may have different requirements. So we encourage you to set your sights on certain schools and kind of look up what prerequisites that they have and see what the UCSD equivalent is here. So we do have these resources on the Global Health major page, which there's a lot of information on there that you could also build into your global health degree. And so also taking a look at the career services website is going to be really valuable. There's a lot of different tools to, let's see. Under HealthBeat, for example, you can go and research different professions. So say you're interested in going into a PA program. We'll click here, and then it's going to show you some of the prerequisites, exploring the career, how to prepare. So when you're looking at pre-med and pre-health programs, there's a lot more than just attending classes and checking off boxes. There's a lot of additional extracurricular that they recommend. So those are great tools to start looking at and get planning. One aspect of the global health program that you could get involved with during your senior years are global health honors thesis program. And this is a 2-quarter program where you'll pick a topic of interest in the field of global health. Maybe it's something that you've experienced in your field experience, or you've worked with someone, a professor on their research, or you just a topic that's you really want to dive into and learn more about. And so you'll develop a research paper in this course and a research poster, which you'll present at our research symposium. So these are all things that are going to enhance your resume and your portfolio from UCSD. So this is important for those of you planning, especially for post-grad opportunities in education. And also you'll get an honors distinction on your diploma. So it's a really awesome program. You'll see applications coming out during your junior year that you'll apply for to be a part of during your senior year. Okay, so now we have the field experience requirement. And the field experience requirement is something that all of our students will complete to gain hands-on research or hands-on experience in the field of global health. And a lot of times these will be completed as an internship or research or volunteer opportunity, or if you're interested in studying abroad, we have a lot of options for that as well. And this is something that we don't recommend that freshmen just come in and get started on their field experience. Take a few classes and start to learn more about the field of global health so that you can get a good idea of what's going to be valuable for you, because this can be work experience on your resume.
So for the requirements, so it's 100 hours. So volunteering, research, kind of some study abroad programs, lots of different ways to fulfill this requirement. The field experience does have to be pre-approved. So on our website, we have this huge list, which we'll show you in a bit, of all of our pre-approved field experiences. If you find a field experience that you want to do that isn't on that list, you can submit a pre-approval form, and Brittany will show you that in just a minute. But field experiences can be domestic or international, credit or non-credit bearing, and students can use up to 3 different opportunities to fulfill the 100 hours. Or you could just do one, but up to you.
So the steps for getting started on that are you're going to research the field experience opportunities on our global health website. So you go to the field experience tab and you can click on requirements. You can go down and we have a list of some of our pre-approved programs here. So here's the application to create your own field experience. And sometimes this is relevant if you're studying abroad or traveling and you get a connection there and you want to work at a hospital shadowing a doctor in another country. Of course, that's not going to be on our pre-approved list. So if you have a supervisor there who you can work with, then you could submit this application. Or maybe you're home for the summer and you want to do your field experience, up in LA, then that is fine. You would just need to submit your pre-approval request. So we have several special programs you'll hear about throughout the academic year through emails from the Global Health Program, but we also have a list here that shows you some of our pre-approved research centers, student organizations, hospitals, internship opportunities, and whatnot. And then we also share a lot of opportunities through other avenues, such as our the website, the social media, and our emails to you. So once you find an experience, so say you go into here and you find a internship program of interest, you're gonna do some research on this. You don't need to ask for pre-approval if it's on this list. So you're gonna go in here and you're gonna say, okay, Alzheimer's San Diego. So then you go in, you find the contact for Alzheimer's San Diego, and you reach out and trying to be as professional as possible, reaching out with your resume and your background and letting them know that you're interested in doing volunteer hours and get the process started that way. We also have resources on our website that review health and safety information. And then once you complete your hours at that site, so as Jade mentioned, you can have up to 3 field experience sites. It's going to look better on your resume if you have more experience at one site for a longer amount of time, but it's up to you. Sometimes there's only short-term opportunities that you're interested in. But anyways, after each field experience, you'll submit a letter of verification to the Global Health Advising Office. And that is also found on our website under the field experience tab. So it tells you here, so there's a log to track your hours, and then it gives instructions for submitting your field experience verification. Just a few notes on safety during your field experience. You're not going to be delivering babies and performing surgeries in your field experience. That's actually unethical. You're not trained to do that. So you'll be doing things within the scope of your abilities. So providing support to doctors, even shadowing in some cases. You're there to learn. You're not a trained professional at this point. So it's important to understand what your role is. Like some doctors will have you, they'll train you to do vitals or things like that, working with patients. But it's important to know what your limitations are. As I mentioned, there's a lot of ways to find field experience. Please read your emails from Global Health Advising. They're so valuable. They're really a gold mine for opportunities. We share research opportunities that come up. We application deadlines and whatnot. So that's really your best option. There's also a portal through UC San Diego to find internships. So you keep an eye on that. We have the Global Health Program blog. And so that's another option to if say you have a field experience opportunity you're interested in, but you want to see if other students have done it, we do have our blog page where you can kind of explore field experience spotlights and see what some of our other students have done working at specific sites, right? And just to get some ideas on what could be a good fit for you. And of course, showing up to things like bagels and office hours and talking to other students in your classes and your professors. A lot of students will make connections by staying for office hours to talk to their instructor, and they'll find out about opportunities that way. So we have several opportunities that you'll hear about throughout the academic year that are field experience appropriate. And one of our main programs we have is the Health Frontiers in Tijuana. You're going to hear it referred to as HFIT, and it's a quarterly internship course. You enroll in it for course credit, and there's classes here on campus. And then you also have, I think it's 5 trips to a clinic right at the border on the Mexico side, where you'll be interacting with doctors and medical school students who are providing care to underserved populations at the border. And this is a great opportunity, especially for students who are on the pre-med path. This has been a really valuable experience for them to get this global health experience right here, just a little bit south of San Diego. We have some other programs you'll hear about throughout the academic year that some will have course credit and some will not. So the Life Course Scholars Program does provide course credit, and this one focuses on aging and healthy aging, right? So you'll hear more about this project We also have some student orgs that do international trips, for example, Alternative Breaks and Flying Sam's. So Flying Sam's has a clinic in Ensenada, and they go down there periodically, bring donations and work with medical. A lot of doctors will volunteer their time to work at these clinics. And so this is a student organization that you can count those hours towards field experience, but it's not for credit. And your field experience, even if you were to receive credit for it, it would be applying towards an elective requirement. There's no requirement for you to have a field experience class. So if like for HFIT, that would be a medical social science elective. And then Alternative Breaks, they're a group that goes on spring break, and sometimes in the summer, they'll do service learning trips. Some of them are domestic and some are international. It just depends on the year. And so keep a lookout for those. There'll be announcements in our newsletters. And then CFHI, this is just one program to highlight that is very popular with our students, and they have programs all over the nation. This is something, they do offer some scholarships, but they're, so for instance, we've had students complete programs on reproductive health in Ecuador because the girl was interested in being a midwife. So you can kind of search through some of their programs and locations if this is something you're interested in. So you can search by topic or you can search by location. And so this has been a really popular one with our global health students. You have the option, as I mentioned, to create your own field experience. So just make sure that that gets pre-approved before doing so. Just a few things to note: that working with animals wouldn't be considered a global health field experience. We would like to have ideally either a global health research aspect or working directly with clientele or clients. And again, so maybe you're not interested in working in a healthcare setting and you're interested in global health policy, so you can work in maybe like a an organization that works with global health policy, right? So we're very flexible and want you to explore opportunities that are going to be a good fit for you and not just checking a box. Okay, I'll turn it over to Jean for academic advising.
So for academic advising, you're going to have a lot of resources at UC San Diego. So you'll have your college advisors, and for those advisors, you can go to them if you have questions about your general education requirements, university policy, and then you come to major advising for questions about your major requirements or field experience. Just know that even if you're not sure who to go to, because there are so many resources on campus, you can always come to us, and if we're not the right people, we can connect you to the right department or resource on campus. So always reach out if you have a question, is the bottom line, I would say. And how to contact us. So pretty soon, or once you begin enrolling in classes, you'll be able to access the Virtual Advising Center, which is known as the VAC. So there you can message any advisor on campus. So message your college advisors, us. You can also, if you are interested in a minor, you could, send a message over to the advisors at another department. And it also keeps a record of all the messages. So if you want to go back to some notes from an appointment that you had with an advisor, those are all in there as well. We do offer remote appointments, so via Zoom right now. And then starting in September, I'll be doing in-person appointments on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And I'm in the Social Sciences building on the first floor. So if you've been to campus, it's near REMAX, so the large athletic facility kind of near there, in between that and then a lot of construction kind of going on. And so to schedule an appointment, whether it's remote or in person, you can email us at ghpadvising@ucsd.edu. And we have some tips for enrolling.
Okay, so your degree audit is the way that the university and your advisors are tracking which classes you've completed towards your degree. So you access your degree audit under your Triton link tools. So you see here the degree audit. When you run the degree audit, it's going to show your GE requirements, your major requirements, minor, anything else that you may have, your writing or DEI courses. And so for the global health degree, this is an example. So if it's red, that means you have not completed the requirement. It'll turn green once you've completed a course. So after you enroll in your courses each quarter, you can go and check your degree audit, and it should be populating under the correct section here. So for Global Health 20, that's for your introduction course. If it, for some reason it weren't showing, you can write us in the back and ask for it to be corrected. The degree audit sometimes does have errors, so it's important for you to check it frequently to make sure it's accurate. And sometimes it's a matter of just sending us a quick message like, this isn't showing, and we can get that corrected. If it's not corrected, or if it's not populating on there, that may be because you're taking a course that is accepted by petition. So when we send out enrollment information to you, this is our courses page on the Global Health website. And this shows you what courses are being planned for the upcoming academic year in Global Health. So courses are subject to change, so you want to check back frequently, but this is an idea of what our department will be offering. We don't have control over other programs and departments. So you can take a look here. And as you will see, our core courses are offered every quarter. So when you're planning out your courses, so you can see what you have remaining left here. And then you're gonna, Jane will talk to you about how to use plans.ucsd.edu for planning. But we also have degree checks on our website. So we recommend downloading that. So you go to major requirements and go to degree check. So if you are in the BS, for example, and when you're planning out your courses, it's important to not be too specific in what you plan to take because things can change. And you don't know what electives are going to be offered when. So you can download this and you could start filling in the courses that you're taking. This could all be tentative. So don't get set on, oh, in spring, I'm going to take ANSC or Global Health 102, because it may or may not be, something could be changed. So for instance, if you're an incoming transfer student, you might say, okay, I'm going to take Global Health 20, like maybe a build 1 for bio. And really as an incoming freshman, you're only going to be able to take lower division courses, so college Gs. But anyways, for your tentative plan, you could write things like, okay, during my junior year, I'm going to take a global health core, upper division core. So make sure to download this before you start working in it. It's just more likely to save. And then you can kind of go through and check off, okay, I've got that accounted for. And then, global health upper division core, because you never know what time courses are going to be offered with your schedule and how that works. And you also have to balance your college GE requirements. So Jane, you want to tell them a little more about this tool here?
Yeah, sure. So the plans.ucsd.edu, in it, you enter what your college is, your major, what year you're entering, and then it'll populate what your major, college, university requirements are. So it's pretty great tool. So we recommend taking a look at this, and then it is just a suggestion. You don't have to go by what this is necessarily recommending. But here Brittany's showing an example of kind of this sample plan. We do also recommend using, when we're kind of doing a long-term plan, kind of use a bunch of different things. We'd also be looking at that courses page that Brittany showed a little while ago that shows the potential courses that are going to be offered in the global health major, right? Or looking at then the electives. So it's kind of just a puzzle that you're piecing together all these different things. And that's where it can be nice to look at the plans, be looking at your degree audit to see what you're missing, and then use that fillable form. And that can be great if you're coming to meet to talk about your long-term plan. If you have that ready of like, hey, this is my sample, what do you think? And then we can go over, if a quarter's looking exceptionally heavy, or if you're an athlete and you can't take a lot of courses in spring quarter because that's when all your meets are or something. So we can just talk about how to find the best balance and fit for you. And oh yeah, we do have a couple sample plans on our website as well. So for incoming freshmen, and then also for incoming transfer students. So those can be helpful too. I think Brittany's going to pull it up so we can see, yes, our sample 4-year.
So as you'll see, if you're an incoming freshman, you won't be taking many global health courses your first year, unless you're getting started on those bio courses. You're going to take a lot of your GE courses. And if you're a freshman, you potentially completed a lot of those GE courses, so you will focus more on your electives. And so, as Jade mentioned, on the courses page, this is another place to look. Each quarter, we're going to update what's being offered, and we will, in the near future, kind of have an idea of what's going to be offered by other departments over the upcoming year. So a lot of departments are still planning that. But as you can see, you don't have to be too rigid in your future planning, because there are options every quarter to fulfill every requirement. So there's there's policy analysis courses every quarter. There's several medical social sciences electives every quarter, medical humanities, global processes. So the most important thing when you're working on your academic plan is that you are just completing something that is fulfilling a requirement. So as long as you're checking a box for completing a GE course or something on your degree audit, you're very likely in good shape. So a lot of students will get a little stressed about planning out too far in advance. Because we have so many courses being offered every quarter, we do, as an incoming transfer student, we do recommend getting your core courses done early on. So coming in, taking Global Health 120, and then maybe Global Health 148 and some electives, just so you start getting that foundation to set you up for success in the rest of your global health courses. So again, you don't need to be like, oh, I need to map out every single thing. If you are checking off boxes, you're in good shape. There are some university requirements to keep in mind, that you need 180 units to graduate. So you can kind of think about how many units do I need to take each quarter to graduate. And we, it's important, I think, to also note that as an incoming student, you don't want to load up your schedule too intense. The quarter system moves very fast and it takes getting used to. So even if you were successful in a transfer school semester program, that doesn't always translate to a quarter system. So we recommend starting out, with 3 classes. If you have to do 4, just know that you can drop your 4th course up until, what is it now, Jane? Is it like week 8 or 7 now?
Yeah, it has gotten to be pretty late.
Yeah. So there are options there, but just set yourself up for success, because if you do have plans to apply for any graduate programs post UCSD, your GPA is very important. And so to start off with a rough GPA is going to kind of make it hard to increase your GPA. So we just want you to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
We'd rather you start and take 3 classes and get all A's rather than 4 classes and all B minuses, right? So just a little tip. Jane, should we still go through this?
I don't even think we need to, because I think
Okay.
I think you showed most of the
Yes. So
pages.
just a few things like to look through our website. The undergraduate and field experience tabs are very important. If you're interested in study abroad, there's a lot of opportunities through UCEAP and some other programs. So you can come explore this page to see some of the possibilities. UCSD faculty lead global seminars each year, so you can see which ones are being offered this upcoming summer. So these are upper division courses. So you would likely need to have upper division standing. But for instance, there's a program in Bali, and it fulfills the field experience requirement and 2 electives. So again, don't get too overwhelmed with the details right now. You'll be hearing about these in newsletters and at global health events. So just to kind of show you where this information is located. But before you come to an academic advising appointment, we really would like you to spend some time looking at the major requirement page and kind of doing some of your own planning so that you know how to use the resources. That way, when you go to meet with Jane, it will be really productive and it'll give you the tools to kind of navigate your academic plan as well for the future. Okay.
Oh, yeah. So this is just some more enrolling tips. So I'm going to put in the chat. You'll use WebReg through your Triton link to plan your classes and then to actually enroll. And there's this great tutorial or how to use it that I recommend taking a look at before it is your enrollment time, so then you know exactly what to expect. And I'm putting that in the chat right now. And then as Brittany had said earlier, transfer students highly recommend the 12 units. I went to the University of Minnesota and it was semesters. And so I know like when you have 16 weeks, you have time to get into like the material. And then here, when you're doing the quarter system and you have 10 weeks, it's like midterms are happening before you can kind of even believe it. So we just recommend kind of ease into it, and then if it's a breeze, then in your future quarters add on more classes. So there is a 2-pass enrollment system. So when you have your first enrollment time, and this you'll be able to see your enrollment times in your Triton link, and then in that WebReg area. In the first pass, you can enroll in up to 11.5 units. So basically 2 courses. And then in your second pass, then you can enroll in up to 19.5. But during second pass is when you're actually able to start waitlisting courses. So if there's a course you're interested in that's full, second pass will be when the system will allow you to waitlist. And then as you're looking at classes, make sure you pay attention to or like search on where the locations are. You don't want to have classes back to back that are all the way across campus. Campus is huge. And so you want to make sure that you'd be able to get to class on time. And so kind of as we'd mentioned before, but I'll say it again kind of for tips for this first quarter. And then especially for incoming freshmen, you'll complete your lower division coursework first. But a sample for fall quarter could be the Global Health 20. There are a lot of seats available in that class. And then possibly a chemistry or a biology course that would fulfill the BS lower division requirement, and then looking at maybe a college GE. So just kind of finding that balance, not taking like all science courses in one quarter is kind of key. And then we do have this YouTube video series. So the link was in the initial kind of invitation to this orientation, and then also in the reminder email. So if you haven't looked at these videos, we highly recommend going through them, because they go into even more depth kind of than we did today. Today, we just wanted to give you like the overview. We don't expect you'll remember everything that we talked about today, but we just want you to know about basically all the resources and kind of really using our website, because there's a lot of great information there that hopefully help you succeed. So we're about to get into our Q&A. I do have a survey that or poll. We want to see kind of how we can work with you the best. What kind of advising would work best for you? And so if you want to fill out this brief poll, feel free to. And if it's not working, let me know and I'll do a different one. But other than that, we thank you for attending, and we can get going with Q&A.
Yes, and I see we do have one question already in the chat. And it was, do we have to finish our upper division core before we start taking upper division electives? And so, no, you do not. The upper division core are going to give you a great foundation of to help you succeed in your electives. However, they're not critical. So however you want to plan that, it is good. Like if you're an incoming transfer, you do want to get those core in, especially the Global Health 148, the Global Health and Cultural Diversity course, and the Essentials of Global Health course. Those ones really give you kind of the nuts and bolts of global health that are going to help you do well in other courses. So that would just be up to you and how you want to plan your schedule. But that would be fine if you're, say you're an incoming transfer and you want to do Global Health 20 and Global Health 148 in an elective in fall, that would be fine. Otherwise you can kind of stagger it out. And is there a section where they enter the Q&A, Jane, or do they?
You can just, oh yeah, I'm sorry, I should have said that. You can just enter it in the chat, is fine.
So for people who are interested in health policy as well as molecular cell biology, what do you suggest they take to better understand what major is best? Is global health BS a good intersection between both? So the great thing about the global health majors are that there will be room, because you need those 180 electives to graduate, there's room for many students to add in an elective. So you could take a bio elective, and to add on a biology elective, it would actually only be 4 additional courses, because you can overlap 2 upper division courses between a major and a minor, and you can overlap all lower division coursework that's relevant. So it ends up working out that you would be able to overlap a lot of courses to add on a biology minor. So we really encourage that with global health students who want to sort of specialize more specifically into a field, or kind of dive a little deeper into other areas. A minor is a great way to explore that. Global health is great exposure to a lot of different topics, and that's going to open your horizons and kind of make you learn about things that you never thought were even possible. And then you can, from there, decide to add on a minor. I wouldn't add a minor right away, just to see how your planning is going. But it's just something you can have in the back of your mind. You know, maybe after your first year as a transfer student, add on the minor when you see how many classes you have left, and how many classes you want to take each quarter, type of thing. So yeah, so a global health degree and adding a minor is a great opportunity to learn more about, you know, adding on a biology minor, for example. Let's see. So how many courses can you enroll in the second pass for enrollment time? Jane, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, so it depends on the number of like units basically that the course is. So in that first pass, most students will register for 2 4-unit class courses. So that'd be like 8 units. And then in the second pass, you can enroll in up to a total, so the total of 19.5 units. So you could add potentially a few more 4-unit courses. It does include how many units you're like waitlisting though too. So you can't waitlist a ton of courses and be enrolling in all these courses. So that's where you know, as you get further along in the program, and maybe there are specific electives that you want to get into that are popular, then, you know, we can chat more about like strategy, enrollment strategy, kind of what to enroll in your first pass versus what to wait, you know, for your second pass. And some of that is just in the first pass, using that for courses that are required or a prerequisite for a course you'll need to take in, you know, a future quarter, or if it's a small like seminar course that has 15 seats or something, you'd want to grab that seat right away, as opposed to maybe a really large class that has a lot of sections where you could maybe know that you could get a seat in that second pass.
Yeah, so oftentimes a lot of like the bio and chemistry classes fill up pretty quick. So as you get more seniority with having more units, your enrollment times will be earlier. So when you start out as a freshman, you have a later enrollment time than a senior. So become a little easier to get into the classes you want as you acquire more units. So this question here is, if I took AP Bio or AP Chemistry and I'm eligible to skip some biology or chemistry courses, but still want to take them for pre-med prerequisites, how can I do it? So I would talk to pre-health about this, but a lot of you pre-med or medical schools will accept AP units, but that information changes frequently. So check with pre-health on that. It's not a question really specific to your major, since on your degree audit, it's going to show you've already completed those for global health. And you want to talk to them, also probably talk to your college, because if you already have that equivalent, you know, as I mentioned, like you'd have that approximation on your UCSD transcript, then it would count as a repeat if you were to take those courses again at UCSD potentially. So that could be something, after talking to pre-health to see if that's the direction you want to go, you'd want to talk to your college to discuss how that's going to look for the units. So there's a little strategy on that. And then there's a question, does a 4 on AP Bio cover all required biology courses? Okay, so if you have a score of 4, it fulfills build 1, 2, and 3. So that equals 1 year of biology. So when you look at the requirements for the BS degree, so you have the one for lower division. So all of your transfer coursework, all of your AP coursework is lower division at UCSD, even if it doesn't matter what it was. So yes, you'd be fulfilling your 1 year of biology, and that'll be reflected on your degree audit. And you also have 3 biological science electives for your major electives. Those all must be upper division for the BS degree. So therefore, in it, you're going to fulfill that year of biology, but you're still going to be required to take 3 upper division bio courses. Does this major have a high requirement on math statistics? So we do have 1 stats requirement. And the reason for that is, well, potentially a stats requirement. So 1 year of math. The reason we added it in that you could do it this way, so to complete the 1 year of math at UCSD, it's math 10, it's a series, so A, B, and C. So there's the 10 series, which is calculus, and the 20 series, which is a higher level calculus, which a lot of physics majors will take. So math 20, A, B, and C. For our requirements, you only have to take math 10 and A and B, and then a stats course. So that stats course with those 2 quarters of math equal 1 year of math. And the reason that we did that is because a lot of medical schools want you to have a stats course. So we built that in. So you can take Psych 60, Math 11. From what I've heard, Psych 60 is easier. So it just depends where you stand. So that is your option for the BS degree. And then for the BA degree, we do require that you take 1 stats course. So those are the options there. AP stats score 3 or higher also fulfills that stats requirement. So again, if that AP course doesn't show up on your degree audit, you'll just submit a petition and we'll get that input for you. So if I took a global health course for a summer program at a university, would I be able to use it to fulfill any major requirement? That I would write into GHP advising about and show us what course you could submit a petition for that course. If it's from another UC, it could come over as a upper division course. If it were like at a community college, obviously that'd be lower division. So unlikely, but if I can't tell if this course has already been taken or whatnot. So I'd write to Global Health Advising with a little bit more information on that. Can we meet for academic advising through Zoom starting now? Do you want to answer that?
Yes, you can. So yeah, just send an email to the GHP advising email address. And then actually, Brittany, do you want to show on the academic advising part of the website, kind of the information with our hours? So here we have kind of when I'm available for Zoom appointments. So just include your PID and then kind of your top 3 times, and we'll get it scheduled. So
Okay, and then is adding a double major to my existing human bio major okay? Do overlapping courses count? So we have a lot of global health bio double majors. It's very common. You can overlap potentially 2 upper division courses and all lower division coursework. So they're very compatible. So do we have double major info on this page here? Let's see. So here we go under the major page. So kind of giving that information here, you can overlap all lower division courses. So that whole year of bio. And so you can, for the BA degree, you can overlap, 2 upper division courses. So there's a double major petition that you would complete. So first, whatever your first major is, you're going to meet with them first. So if you're currently, for instance, a bio major, you would bring this double major form to bio. And this just gives you an idea of how to fill out the form for the global health side. So again, you don't have to fill out the specific course. You don't have to say global health 122. You could just instead write medical humanities elective, global processes elective. They just want to see that you've mapped out how many courses are required. So when it's time to start planning your double major, it's good to meet with your initial advisor for planning. Come in with a tentative plan already when you come to your advising appointment of how you're going to make this fit so that your advisor can help you tweak that. And so you have to be 90 units. You have to have completed 90 units to submit a double major, and you want to have some of your first major's coursework already completed. So if you don't go, if you barely completed any major requirements, don't add the double major yet. Wait until you've completed requirements, and then you're more, because the colleges have to approve your double major. Are there limited seats for the honors thesis program? Yes, there are. We usually have a cohort of about 15 students. However, if there was a higher demand, we would look into increasing the amount of courses that are offered. So as long as you're meeting those requirements of having a good GPA, completing your field experience requirement, and having a strong interest in the program, there's a great chance that you would get into that program. So if you're not currently a global health major, you can, once your enrollment time begins, you can find that information out in Triton Link. Once you begin rolling in classes, there, just go into Triton Link and there's a major minor tool, or even just go into Google and say UCSD change major. And it'll take you to this page here about the major minor tool. So then you would log in here and you would make the request to change the major. So this is a relatively common thing for students to do. And global health is not an impacted major, so we accept all students. And Mahir asked, is it a requirement to take global health classes in your first year? Mahir, are you a freshman? Okay, so no, during your first year, as a freshman, you don't have to complete global health courses. You could focus on completing your college GEs. You could mix in some of the global health courses if you would like, but it's not required. You'll have time to complete that. If you are a BS student, you are probably going to want to start some of those bio courses, because those are going to be prereqs for taking future courses. So you don't want to save the build 1, 2, 3 series until junior year if you're a BS major, because then it's just going to be very compacted trying to finish all your courses that may have prerequisites. And for the enrollment time, do you enroll in courses for the first quarter all? So yeah, you're only enrolling for fall. what kind of research will be done in Global Health 199 class? That is actually not a class. That is independent research. So if you happened upon an opportunity to get involved in research, you could pursue a Global Health 199. You have to have a faculty advisor, and you are required to complete a 10-page research paper. And so, and the word independent study is means it is an independent course. So it is self-directed by the student. You'd be working with an advisor, and this is something you would have to apply for, and our program director would review this. So say you found a professor who says, oh yeah, you can work in my research lab 10 hours a week. And then you could ask them, would you serve as my faculty advisor if I do a 199 course? And if they say yes, then you'll complete our application process for 199 here. So you would do that. There's a form through, it's called EASY, special studies request. And our director reviews that, and then you would be able to enroll in that class, and you could use that as a medical social science elective. And you would be required to complete a 10-page paper to submit to your faculty advisor at the completion of that. So that is another opportunity for you to pursue research and get course credit. And that's something you can't do until you're junior or senior standing, because it's an upper division course. Let's see. Did we miss any questions, Jane?
Oh, yeah, I see one. So if you're on the pre-med track, do you recommend sharing your tentative plan with Global Health Advising or HealthBeat to see if you're on track? Should you meet with both? I would say meet with both. Because with Global Health, we want to make sure that you're meeting all the major requirements, and with HealthBeat, such a great resource, I would say making sure that you're on track to applying to whatever program for after you graduate. So
Yeah,
so take
so
advantage. Yep.
exactly. So and prior to that, what I recommend is mapping out your major requirements first, and then going through these resources on the HealthBeat website and see what's kind of missing. So, okay, so your chemistry and lab, that's included for your major. So check OChem. So that is not a part of your major. So that is the Chem 40A, Chem 40B, Chem 40C. So you can see on here, let's see. There's kind of these competencies for like what classes you're going to need to take and whatnot. So explore these websites. Sorry about that. And then, you know, sorry, I went to the wrong screen here. See what's kind of missing, maybe make a list on your global health degree thing plan. You could say like, okay, I need to add OChem, physics, your general biology, and that's already included in your degree. The math is already included in your degree, but you may want to just double check on what's already included also, right? So, and then usually your English is already fulfilled by your GE requirements. Biochemistry, you could take that as one of your global health electives. And then there's some coursework that's recommended. But again, look at programs that you're interested in to see what they would like to see as well, because some schools have different requirements. So I'd say, you know, 70% of the pre-med courses are incorporated into the BS degree, and the rest you're going to be adding in. Let's see if this takes us to the chemistry page here. So the OChem series is Chem 40A, Chem 40B, and Chem 40C. And then there's a lab for that. So Chem 43A, the OChem lab. So that's something to consider adding into your degree plan. So make sure your major's mapped out well, then meet with the pre-health to make sure that you're hitting all those courses. And they may even have some sample plans on their website too. So that's a good question. I know the pre-med pre-health is a little more difficult planning. So okay, so we'll be sure to post the record. We'll send the recording out to all the students. So you can watch through this. And are you allowed to take any, all global health courses must be taken for a letter grade. There's no exception on that. So don't accidentally enroll, pass, no pass. It will not count. It'll be course credit, but it will not apply towards any of your global health majors. Okay, any more questions? We still have a little time here. Does physics fill up quickly? It can. So let me take a look at the schedule of classes so far. Oops. Or wait, do you remember what the course code is for? Okay.
PHY.
That's right.
Or is it PHYC?
Okay, I'll just look through
I
here.
think.
Oh yeah, YS, yeah. Okay. So for Physics 1A, you can see this class already has 400 seats in it, and there's already a wait list of 29. So when you're looking at the courses, you can see what the prerequisites are. So in order to enroll in a class like physics, you would need to complete Math 10A first. So that's just something to keep in mind when you're doing your planning with these pre-med courses, is often they do have prerequisites before you can even enroll. So that's why if you are pre-med taking, for instance, like the bio series first and getting your math done is going to be helpful, because even for the chem series, you have to have completed or be concurrently enrolled in Math 10A. So for physics, you have to be enrolled in or take Math 10A as well. So getting math in that first year of bio done early are really helpful to prepare you to be able to enroll in some of those other courses that you may need. So oftentimes when you're coming in your first year, it's a little bit harder to get into some of these lower division courses during fall quarter. But it looks like, for instance, Build 1, the bio course, it has a lot of seats left. This is why it is very important whenever your enrollment time is, be at your computer enrolling at that time. If you wait a day, they just opened enrollment to 10,000 other students that day too, right? So yes, there are 44 seats left here, but that could go very quick because bio students are going to be enrolling, and you just don't want to forget about your enrollment time. There's already a lot of the bio. So Build 3 does not have a prereq. So you could take Build 3 without having taken any bio. If you can't get into Build 1, you could just take Build 3 just to get that in there. How do you know what classes are letter grades or pass no pass? So when you enroll, you have the option to choose if it's for a letter grade or pass no pass. All classes should be for a letter grade. I don't see what I can't see what students see, Jane, but are you familiar with any where it would show you that?
I know when you enroll, and I think in that WebReg tutorial, it'll show you when you're enrolling, but I'm trying to think of when you're actually enrolled where you can confirm. Maybe it is just through WebReg.
Yeah, it is
You
through
can
WebReg.
check and
So if
see.
you go through WebReg, you'll be able to see the schedule of classes also, and can you start planning out your classes now, like tentative ones, or is that not?
Yeah, you should
Okay.
be able to. I'm pretty sure. And so that's where you can start to build kind of your classes or what you want your schedule to be, so that then when it comes time for your enrollment, you just go like
Okay, so this is
enroll.
remember that link I just sent in the chat. This is where all the resources are for you. It's under Triton link. So you can see here, you can change your major or minor here. You can view your degree audit, your billing, and WebReg is where you can go and plan and register for your classes.
I have a question too, Brittany. So I just wanted to point it out while you're on this page. Somebody asked about how to see their transfer credit like approximation. So that would be on that academic history. So again, this is on TritonLink under the grades and transcript tools. Academic history will show like what your transfer credit is and then if it is counting towards UCSD credit. And I know that some transfer transcripts aren't all in yet, so if you've sent yours
Keep
in,
checking
don't
back, yeah.
worry yet, but just keep checking on that.
It'll be any day
Mm-hmm.
if you submitted them by the correct
Deadline.
Yeah. So explore those tools on TritonLink. Kind of just click around. The web reg is going to be where you enroll for your classes, and it should tell you when your enrollment time is. So that'll be helpful. All right.
Oh, I just thought of one tip. So for the virtual advising center, you can select so it would automatically, if you were to get a message from an advisor, it would send you an email saying you have a new message. You can put in your cell phone number. So then you would just get a text, which is kind of nice. And that would be then a text reminder about appointments as well. So I recommend adding that in just as kind of an extra reminder.
Okay. We don't see any more questions coming in, but if you still have questions about your planning, like we mentioned, please look at all the resources before setting up an appointment time with Jane so that you can be well prepared. And let's see, so we got a question here. What do you recommend if a class like Chem or Build is filled up before my enrollment if I want to take it for global health? So just as I mentioned, start checking off other classes. So let's see, for the math series, that could be one to pursue. If you're a freshman, you will have a lot of college GEs to complete. So just start checking those off because there's not much you can do for global health. It looks like there's a handful of seats left for math. Let's see.
Yeah, I think with some math too, they save seats specifically for incoming freshmen and transfers. So with some of these, the numbers will go up. I don't know which classes exactly, but and the ones that are really low, I know that before your enrollment time, you may see the enrollment limits go up. So
yeah, so the stats course has some space in it at the time being for freshmen, probably a lot of seats will not be available in Global Health 20 because the transfers are going to be enrolling. So if you go to the schedule of classes to look at global health options in fall, so we have 77 seats available for Global Health 20. That's our only lower division course in global health that you could take. It has no prerequisites, so anybody can enroll in that course. The majority of the spots probably, as I mentioned, will be taken by transfer students. And then for our transfer students, you can start completing electives. So we have, of course, NGOs in global health, planetary health, ethnographic field methods. The HFIT program, that's something that students will apply for. And so when you get our news blast and our newsletters, you'll hear about the application deadlines for that. There's Latin American Health and Healing has some seats. Our infectious disease course has a wait list. So don't use up your first pass on a wait list.
oh, you can't. It won't even let you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to waste your spots. So our Global Health 148 course right now has 20 seats left. So that's something that transfers could enroll in. And then we have a couple seats left in Global Health 81, but do not worry because these classes are offered every quarter. The 200 level classes are graduate courses. So that's for the global health. Let's see. So just play around with whatever you can get in. So Holly's asking, my AP scores have just come out a few days ago and I just sent them. Are they still going to be considered for credits? So just because it's not showing yet doesn't mean it's not going to count. It'll eventually get onto your transcript. So if you got the, you know, a 4 on bio, then you know that that's going to fulfill those bio requirements. And so you don't need to do anything. Just check your transcript every once in a while and your degree audit and make sure it's counting properly. But there's no reason to, you know, ask an advisor because we don't have anything to see on our end. Is there only one upper division course, or sorry, lower division course for global health and the rest are upper division? So in global health, our course offerings, yes, you have for your major lower division requirements. So you can see here how they're broken down. Lower division, which is Jane mentioned, is 0 to 99. So it's 20 and 30. These classes are options for lower division. For upper division, there's our 100 level courses here. So we encourage you to go to our courses page and take a look at, so if you are in the BS degree, go to fall and see what courses are available for lower division. So these are the courses for our lower division core requirement that are options in fall. So you could take Global Health 20, HILD 30. I really recommend all students take Global Health 20, even though you have some other options. It's just a really good foundation course and great professors for that course. And then you could see which lower division biology and chemistry courses are an option. If it has the parentheses next to it, that is the prereq for the course. So you can't enroll in build 2 until you've completed build 1. But as I mentioned with build 3, anybody can enroll because it's not contingent on other courses. So you can see here, these are all lower division. And then we get to upper division for courses here. So this would be for our students who have over 90 units. So if you're an incoming student, you may have some units that come in from AP courses or college, if you did some community college. And those do count towards that getting to 90 units. So this page is really valuable to go through. There are, so these shouldn't be on here actually for the BS. These are some more elective options. And again, all your electives for the BS need to be upper division. So like I said, once you enroll in your courses, go check your degree audit and make sure that the courses are counting properly. The chances of getting off the wait list, it just depends. There's really no rhyme or reason. Like some students will enroll in 4 courses as a placeholder and might drop it within the first week or 2. So your waitlist course, make that like not like your primary course. Like have a plan without the waitlisted course and have it as a bonus if you happen to get into that, but don't rely on it. So if your academic history, it's not appearing yet, that's fine. They're still articulating it. So just check back every several days and it'll get up there. It's our electives be our required college courses. Oftentimes, your major courses and your GEs can overlap, but sometimes your college will have some stipulations on certain requirements. So they'll have like a writing requirement and they'll say next to it, can't overlap with your major requirement. So you'll actually want to check on your college GEs. But one way to see also is to check your degree audit. So enroll in a class for your college or for your major and check your degree audit to see if it's counting for both. And that'll kind of tell you if they'll allow overlaps or not. But every college has different requirements, so we can't really speak on that, but there are potential overlaps. If you get into Physics 1, but you can't get into Physics 1 AL, you could take 1 AL the next quarter. We don't have physics as part of our requirements, so you may want to you could write in the back to the physics department if you need clarification on like a physics class or chemistry class or whatnot.
Yeah, I think for that, it's like department to department on if they enforce kind of that you take them concurrently, or if they would allow you to take them in different quarters.
Yeah, so, I mean, you could always check the physics website to see if there's any information on like the course offerings or whatnot, but yeah, we don't know that information just because it's something outside of our department. And then is the chemistry placement exam required for GH majors? No, it's not. I'm not familiar with the chemistry placement exam. Let's see. So it says it's advised for any student who plans to enroll in chemistry and does not have an AP score of 2 or higher, or have taken chemistry since 10th grade. So it sounds like they are recommending the chemistry placement exam. And there's a math placement exam. So a lot of these questions you can usually search on your college website too. So again, it sounds like they advise that you do, but it's not a requirement. So for instance, let's see if you're looking at your college requirements. Let's see if it's, oh. Okay. So GEs for first year, search the word overlap. Okay. So this is for John Muir, just showing you an example how to navigate this. You can use up to 3 courses from your major to fulfill Muir GE requirements. So you could do some good strategizing looking at your GEs. That's obviously a language requirement. We don't have that in global health. So you could look through here and see if there's anything that could fit with global health as well. So because it's lower division courses, there's probably not going to be too many. You could always search the page and go GLBH. So global health 20, perfect. So that's one course that could overlap. So you'll just have to spend some time on your GE page and kind of searching around. And as Jane said, it's kind of a puzzle, and you know, don't get overwhelmed. Things will kind of fall into place for you.
Yeah. We just want you to know the resources are there. It's just
Yeah, it does take some searching and spending time on the website on your part, but all the info is there.
And really right now it's just focusing on, you know, your classes for fall quarter and long-term plan and all of that. That can happen later. There's time. So
Yeah, it doesn't all need to be mapped out right now.
right.
Alrighty, give a couple more seconds here to see if anyone has any other questions. Otherwise, please practice using the virtual advising center for any questions that are specific to something that have a question about, maybe for your academic transcript or whatnot. If your courses for transfer courses are not showing up yet, please don't write yet to advising, and please don't schedule an appointment until those courses are showing so that we can actually plan out it. Without that information, it just makes planning not very productive since we can't see those courses. So just be patient to wait for them to populate. And if there's a course that you need to petition, I mentioned there's the petition form online. So you would submit this and our director reviews request. And that is all for our presentation today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we're so excited to have you all as part of the Global Health Program and start working with you and seeing you at upcoming global health events. We have several events throughout the year. Our quarterly conversations in global health is one that you'll all hear about a lot, and that one's going to be in November. And we have a panel of global health experts, and we get the whole community together. So please get involved in the community. UCSD is such a large campus, and this is a way for us to connect and create that community feeling and have you get involved. And we have our student org to get involved in, so you'll learn more about that through emails. So get networked and be proactive in the program and get talking to faculty and whatnot, and you'll have a really successful undergraduate experience. You're all very welcome.
We're excited to work with you.